Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I wanted to shoot a video like this that I have not done in a long time. And I just thought about it the other day when I dropped in on a live show, which I rarely get to do here on YouTube, but every once in a while it happens. So what this is about is basically going back and thanking a lot of the bigger channels at that time that really helped me to get started, and even smaller channels that I helped get started that then paid it back, and how much I appreciate that, and just the influence they were, generally speaking, at when I first got my channel going, and how nice it was to just have their general support and kindness. But the other thing I want to point out before I get started on this list is that whether you have a huge channel or you're a small channel just getting started out, when you can build relationships with others within the community, and you know, the bigger channel gives a shout out to the smaller channel, not having any clue that at some point that channel was going to explode and bypass them. And then when they give them a shout out, then it comes back. So those shout outs do a lot to help each other out. And also, I think it's important to always give credit where credit is due, because I think if it had been just up to me alone trying to get my channel out there, and I didn't have the help of these other channels, I'm pretty sure I would not be where I am today. So let's go way back to before I even started my channel, and I just got YouTube going so I could watch other homesteading channels. And then eventually stumbled across the Homesteading Network, which was hosted by Big Family Homestead. They're the ones that got it started, and they linked up with other channels and got them in there. And it was really kind of fun because you were always learning about other channels and able to go watch them live and learn more about them, and then really interact with them in the chat and get to know people. And that was pretty cool. If you haven't started your channel yet, or you're new, go to some of your favorite channels that do live shows and get in there and start interacting on the feed, not just with the people that have the channel, but the other people within the feed. Developing those relationships can do a lot to help your channel grow. But I was just having fun. And I remember how exciting it was when the first time I heard a bigger channel that I was in there interacting with that I really loved actually mentioned my name when they read the comment. It was so cool. And it's fun. It is a fun thing to do. Unfortunately, I just so very rarely have time to do that anymore. But that's a real big thing there in so many ways. It can be so encouraging and uplifting to be a part of that, this community, in an extended way. And then it wasn't too awful long after really getting involved in some of these that I finally got brave and decided to start my own channel. I was really skeptical about it. I wasn't sure if I was going to, and that was August of 2016 that I did that. And I tried not to promote myself. I don't think it's right to go to other people's channels and say, hey, come watch my channel. I've subscribed to you, subscribe me back. Trust me, that's not the way to go about it. And I knew that from the start. Though, if someone asked something in a chat, I might say, well, I did recently do a video on this if you're interested. Even though that was still kind of pushing the line, I felt kind of guilty about that. But everybody looks at that differently. I'm just kind of funny that way. But mostly just the interacting. Well, what ended up happening was some other people that were within the network themselves started watching my channel. And I remember the first shout out I got was from Big Bear Homestead, and I was just so blown away and so incredibly grateful for that. And I still remember shooting a video that very next day. I just heard it. I was shooting a video about making skin cream or something, and I don't remember what it was about actually. And I did mention that and told them how much I appreciated that. I had no idea anyone within the network would even be interested in my channel. And then the next ones to give me a shout out that I remember anyway were Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. And again, I was so blown away. I just totally blew me over. I was like, wow. I was there, we were there, Patrick and I both were watching them live. And then when they called out my channel, wow, it was just really exciting. And so I want to say thank you again to Danny and Wanda. They were the ones whose live show, you're actually seeing this a few weeks later from the time that this happened, but actually managed to drop in there live for the first time and I don't know how long. And it was so fun chatting with them. And then they just went on and said some really great things about our channel I totally did not expect. And so I want to thank them again, not just for that original shout out, but for keeping up their consistency and being great people. I've talked to Wanda on the phone several times. It's been a while, but I have. They are really great people. And if you're not already following them or any of these other channels I'll mention, please do. And lots of great people within here. And then eventually, Brad from Big Family Homestead actually contacted me through email and asked me if I'd be willing to be a part of the network. And that was really exciting. I thought, oh, how cool. And so I did agree to it. And then eventually it was Patrick and me. We're doing these live shows in the evening. Another one that gave me a shout out on her channel was Julie from Dirt Patch Heaven. Another really wonderful person. She is so fun to interact with. Her and I are actually quite a bit alike. We're kind of more introverts, but we have a similar type of sense of humor, and just her and her husband both just very fun people. And so I appreciate Julie giving my channel a shout out a few different times on some of her live feeds. And we also, Patrick and I also both became moderators for their live feed, both for Deep South Homestead and American Homestead, because they were also a part of the Homestead Network. And in fact, I think their show came on right after ours, if I remember correctly, on Thursday nights. So yeah, we were moderators for them and also for Alderman Farms, who was also a part of that network. And that's how we got to know them. And Tommy and Patty, just great people, so funny. And Tommy has such a great sense of humor, and it was so much fun being a part of that and interacting with them too, both as their moderators and then when they would come into our chat and all that kind of stuff. Some really wonderful people out there that are who they say they are. And then there was Doug and Stacy. So most of you know Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, but you may not understand just how instrumental they were in helping our channel really just start to grow. And a lot of it started with Stacy calling me up and saying, hey, can you make me a patchwork skirt? It was her idea. That first patchwork skirt, that was her idea. She had the idea in her head. She threw it out to me. So I just sat down and started putting it together based on the color she wanted and the ideas she had in her head. And it took off from there. She wore that skirt in her first video. I remember she was standing out in the snow because it was end of November. People asking, where'd you get your skirt? Where'd you get your skirt? So she started sending them all over to me, and that was when the custom order started. But that was before I started selling them on the store, which by the way, I'm not doing that right now. Maybe someday it will happen again. I have no idea, but currently just don't have the time. But I did sell a lot of skirts for several years. Thanks to Stacy and thanks to Doug too. We've talked on the phone with both of them on many occasions, and again, very real, personal people, and they again are who they say they are and have so much great information out there. And then another channel I'm going to mention, even though she's not putting out any more content right now, is Melanie from Road to the Farm. Her content is still out there though. And if you are gluten-free, she's totally gluten-free, and she's created so many wonderful gluten-free recipes. And I'm not sure if her cookbooks are still for sale, but you might be able to find, so if you go look at her channel. I believe she does have some recipes on her channel, but one of the sweetest people I know, super kind, super friendly, very loving. She's that same person that you'll see in the videos. And she was doing some live shows too. I don't think she was part of the Homestead Network, but she was doing some of her own live shows, and we were also moderators there. Love Melanie, wonderful person. Then shortly after all that, there was at least 3 different channels that started after I did. Some of them shortly after, some of them a couple of years after. One of those was Homestead Tessie. So she was one of the first ones that was starting out fresh and started interacting with me, and I started checking out her channel, and I saw that she had some really great information that I thought should be shared, and so I gave her channel a shout out. And of course, through the years, she gave my channel a shout out as well. So it's been a great working relationship like that, and we've also done collaborations together, at least a couple of them, Tessie and I. And collaborations, if you're new to that, is a lot of times, it's when you do a set of videos like on the same topic. Like she'll do a video on, like, I know that she was part of one of the herb collaborations that I put together. I even got Esther Emery on board with that and a few other channels, and Full Spectrum Survival. So that was very fun. I haven't done those in years, but those are fun to be a part of. And if you're a new channel, look at doing that. It really helps you. But I really don't have time for that kind of stuff either. Unfortunately, I sort of miss doing that. Maybe one of these days I'll try to set one up again, but that's a lot of work, especially if you're the one organizing it. The last one I remember doing that I organized was the Homestead Carousel Box. And we had Amy Fuel, we had Alderman Farms, we had Big Bear Homestead, we had Mary's Nest, and gosh, there were several others. Bandana Grandma, there was a few of them that all participated in that, in Deep South Homestead. A lot of fun, lots of fun. So I will link to that whole playlist down below if you're curious. Even though it's a couple of years old, you might still enjoy it. It was a very fun collaboration to be a part of. Then there was Living Traditions Homestead. So when they were still pretty new to their channel, and I don't remember where I was at the time, but I had more subscribers than they did. I know that much at least. They contacted me and asked if I would do a collaboration with them on becoming debt-free, because we were all debt-free, and I thought that's perfect. And it was actually perfect timing, because I was just thinking about doing a video on that. So being able to collaborate with another channel at the same time, that was pretty great. And then we also help each other out that way. Then Living Traditions, they just like blew up and bypassed me. I mean, where are they at? Like 600,000 subscribers now or more, maybe 7. Then back in, I think it was the spring of 2019, I did an herb presentation at the most local homesteading fair to us, and that was in Rochester, Washington. And so I remember I was on my way there, and I had my phone, and I was kind of checking YouTube, while we're on this long drive. And all of a sudden, our subscriber count just jumped up. And I'm like, what the heck happened here? And then I started seeing comments that said, we came over here from Living Traditions Homestead. And I'm like, what? So I went over their channel and noticed that very day they had Sarah had put a video out and mentioned my channel. And I gained 850 subscribers, which was a record for the next couple of years until 2020, or maybe until 2021. I finally broke that record, but gaining 850 in one day when, gosh, I don't remember how many subscribers I had back in 2019, but it wasn't a ton. And so that really gave our channel a pretty huge boost. And so once they really blew up, that then came back and paid us back. So doing that collaboration paid off. So I also want to say again, Kevin and Sarah, thank you again for that. Thank you for all that you've done to help boost our own channel. And I still think it's great that we have those collaboration videos out there on the debt-free thing. I don't remember if we ever did another collaboration after that. I know that eventually it just became too hard for me to keep up on those kind of things. And then as far as this category goes, the last channel I wanted to mention, but not least, is Mary's Nest. So I'd had my channel going for 2-3 years when Mary got hers started, but she had already been interacting on my channel as a regular follower. Very kind, wonderful lady. And then when she told me, I think she emailed me that she was going to start her channel, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And so she didn't ask me to give her a shout out. It was nothing like that. But once she put her first video out and I watched it, I was immediately impressed with her quality. Right off the bat, Mary had it figured out. Unlike me, I had poor lighting, poor sound, all that kind of stuff. And I was, even though I was used to be in front of live audiences, talking to a camera and not seeing faces was a totally new thing to me. So I was very insecure about that when I first got started. So you would notice if you go back and watch some of my early videos back from 2016, I was very sedate compared to how you usually see me, which is, this is the way I normally talk and act. So she had it figured out right from the start. And so of course she blew up practically overnight. Her channel just skyrocketed, and very cool. And ever since then, Mary has always paid me back by mentioning my channel here and there, giving me little shout outs. And Mary, thank you so much. If you're watching this video, thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate all the help and that you and everyone else on this list did to help get me to where I am today. And it really shows too that community and good relationships and interactions with other people, it really strengthens us in so many ways. So even if you don't have a channel, still those interactions, being able to, sometimes we don't have people locally, we don't have friends or family that are on the same page, but when we can reach out and interact with other people who are on the same page as us, it keeps us motivated, it keeps us encouraged, and it helps us strengthen each other. So it's really a beneficial thing. As much as sometimes, especially those of us who are definitely more introverts, it can be easy to just want to shut yourself off from the rest of the world and forget other people exist. It's really not a healthy place to be, especially when you're really trying to work on different things and you're facing some of the different frustrations we all have to face. And we all deal with different irritations, frustrations, and hardships. And when we have other people that are pretty much on the same page that we can interact with, it's very healing and encouraging. And so I recommend, don't totally isolate yourself from all of society. Find other people on the same page, even if you can only interact with them virtually through email, through YouTube, or other means. At least it's something that helps keep us going and motivated to do what we need to do. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, don't forget to check out these channels I'll be linking to down below, because they did so much to help me out, and I would like to return the favor again to them. Oh yes, and please go ahead and share your favorite channels down below, new or old, whatever they are. Just go ahead and share those. This is a great place down there to give people shout outs, because I don't have time anymore to keep up on what channels are new. A lot of people will come and say, oh, I watched this channel and that channel, and I've never heard of them because I simply don't have the time. I can't even keep up on the channels I started off with that were my favorites for many years, though I do try to drop in every now and then. So even though I may not know who they are, go ahead and share them down below so other people can find out, because we're all always looking for the ones that we can most relate to and get the most information of it. And even if we don't learn anything new from them, sometimes just hearing people say the same things you've been thinking, sometimes that's all the validation you're looking for. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.